Have you ever felt like something's off when you're around women? Like, she's there, she's talking to you, but something in her energy feels distant, cold, or dismissive, and you can't explain why. Here's the harsh truth: it's possible she sees you as weak, not in a you can't lift weights kind of way, but in ways far more subtle, and honestly, most men never even realize it's happening. And let me be clear, this isn't about playing games or becoming someone you're not. It's about awareness, self-awareness, understanding the signals you're giving off without realizing it, and how women read those signals instantly. Believe it or not, women are incredibly attuned to certain cues, and when they sense weakness, respect fades, attraction fades, and over time, they emotionally check out. Today I'm going to walk you through 7 subtle signs that women notice, signs that might be telling her you're weak, even if you're a good guy, even if your intentions are pure. And more importantly, I'm going to show you how to turn each one of them around. Real talk, real psychology, no fluff. Let's get into the first one. You constantly seek her approval. This one's sneaky. It doesn't mean you're complimenting her all the time or buying her gifts. It goes deeper than that. It shows up in how you phrase things. Do you find yourself asking, "Is that okay with you?" Or "Do you mind if I do this?" all the time? Or maybe you wait for her opinion before making any decision at all, even on simple stuff like where to go or what to eat. Here's the thing: healthy relationships are based on mutual respect, not constant validation seeking. When you always look for her approval, what you're saying is, "I'm not confident in my own choices unless you agree with them." And over time, that projects uncertainty, which kills attraction. Confidence is magnetic. Approval seeking is not. What do you do instead? Start trusting your judgment more. Make decisions, even small ones, with clarity. And if she disagrees, great. Respect her input, but don't let it define your value. You'll notice an immediate shift in how she responds to you. Sign number 2, you avoid conflict at all costs. Look, no one loves drama, but if you're constantly backing down, staying silent when something bothers you, or pretending you're fine just to keep the peace, she will notice, and deep down, she'll feel like she can walk all over you. Real strength isn't about being aggressive or loud, it's about having boundaries. And yes, sometimes that means having uncomfortable conversations. Women respect men who can communicate directly, calmly, and without fear of tension, because that shows emotional maturity, and emotional maturity is power. So the next time something doesn't sit right with you, say it, not with anger, with clarity. You don't need to attack, just state your truth. She might not like it at the moment, but she will respect it. Number 3, you're overly available. This one stings for a lot of guys, especially the ones who care. You think that always being there, always replying instantly, and always saying yes, show your love and loyalty. But from her perspective, it can come off as needy, predictable, even boring. Scarcity creates value. If she knows you'll drop everything for her 24/7, there's no challenge, no intrigue. That doesn't mean you play games or ignore her. It means you have your own life, your own priorities, and she fits into it, not consumes it. Start saying no sometimes, not out of spite, but because your time and energy matter too. Let her feel that you're a man with a purpose, not just a guy orbiting around her. That contrast, of being present, but not dependent, is powerful. Sign number 4, you apologize for everything. Now, don't get me wrong, apologizing when you've genuinely made a mistake is a strength. But when you say sorry all the time, even for things that aren't your fault, or for simply expressing your needs, it sends a signal that says, "I don't feel entitled to take up space." Women pick up on this instantly, and it shifts the dynamic from mutual respect to imbalance. If you find yourself saying sorry just for existing, or for things like asking a question or expressing discomfort, it's time to pause. Instead, practice assertiveness. That doesn't mean being cold, it means being grounded in who you are, and understanding that your thoughts, feelings, and presence have value. You don't need to shrink to be accepted. 5th sign, you let her lead everything. I get it, you want to be easygoing. Go with the flow. Let her choose the restaurant or the movie. But if you always put the ball in her court, it can become exhausting for her. Most women don't want to lead everything. They want a man who can take initiative. Leadership doesn't mean control. It means being proactive, making plans, and being comfortable taking the first step. Ask yourself, when was the last time you said, "Here's what we're doing, I've got it," not in a bossy way, but in a confident, secure way that says, "You can relax, I'm handling it." This kind of energy creates polarity. It builds trust. It makes her feel safe, and not in a boring way, but in a deep, primal way. Women are biologically wired to respond to this kind of presence. Alright, let's dive straight into the next signs. And by the end of this, you're going to see how small shifts in how you carry yourself can completely change the energy between you and any woman you interact with. Sign number 6, you constantly explain yourself. Have you ever caught yourself giving long-winded reasons for why you did something, even when no one asked, or trying to justify your feelings, your decisions, your actions, hoping she'll understand or approve? Here's the truth, over-explaining often comes from a place of insecurity. It's a way of saying, please don't misinterpret me, or please don't think badly of me. And while your intention might be to show honesty or transparency, what it communicates is self-doubt. Strong men speak clearly and with intention. They don't feel the need to explain every move they make, because they're comfortable with who they are. The less you try to convince someone of your worth, the more they naturally feel it. Instead of explaining, start stating, not coldly or arrogantly, but in a calm, centered tone that says, I know who I am. I don't need to prove it. That shift alone can make a woman look at you differently, almost instantly. Now, the 7th sign, and it's a big one, you seek emotional safety more than emotional leadership. Look, there's nothing wrong with wanting an emotional connection. It's necessary for any real relationship, but many men unconsciously slip into a role where they're not offering emotional grounding, they're looking for it from her. That looks like venting without structure, spiraling into overthinking, or constantly asking her for reassurance about the relationship. It places emotional responsibility on her shoulders when what women are often looking for is your ability to hold space, not collapse into it. That doesn't mean you bottle up your feelings. It means you learn to process them internally first, or with your male support system, so that when you bring them into the relationship, you're doing it with clarity and strength. Because emotional strength isn't about being emotionless, it's about being rooted. When you're grounded in yourself, you become a man she can lean on, not a man who leans on her too heavily, and that difference is felt more than it's seen. So now that you know these 7 signs, what do you do with this information? Start small. You don't have to change your entire personality overnight. You shouldn't. This isn't about becoming someone else, it's about revealing a version of you that's already there, but maybe hidden under layers of doubt, fear, or habits you picked up without even realizing it. Pick one of the signs that stood out to you most, maybe the one that hit a nerve, or made you go, damn, I do that. Don't judge yourself for it, just notice it, and then, over the next few days, start shifting how you respond in those situations. This is how real change happens, one conscious choice at a time. Now I want to hear from you. Which of these signs do you recognize in yourself? Which one are you ready to change? Drop it in the comments. I read every single one, and I genuinely want to hear your perspective. If you got value from this video, share it with a friend who needs to hear this today. You might help him more than you know. And if you're serious about mastering your presence, your mindset, and your relationships, hit that subscribe button, because we're just getting started here. This channel isn't about manipulation, quick tricks, or trying to be someone you're not. It's about becoming more of who you are with confidence, clarity, and strength. So stick around and I'll see you in the next one.